Welcome to Defense Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Kuwait to hold parliamentary elections on April 4, latest round of voting in years of turmoil. Stiemk, Dyke lead Loyola, MD, over Army, 69-68. Raisina dialogue, India's lofty ideals make clear it's a quad misfit. Navy wins 71-65 against American. As an Arab actor, worrying is part of my life. House of God's Kamal El-Basha on the power of art. Kuwait to hold parliamentary elections on April 4, latest round of voting in years of turmoil. Associated Press. Kuwait has announced that it will hold elections for its National Assembly on April 4. The decision comes after years of political turmoil and disputes over domestic issues, including the overhaul of Kuwait's welfare system. The country has repeatedly dissolved its parliament due to a lack of progress, leaving it with little money to pay public sector salaries despite its immense oil reserves. Kuwait is a staunch U.S. ally and hosts 13,500 American troops in the country. Stiemk, Dyke lead Loyola, MD, over Army, 69-68. Associated Press. Jordan Stiemk and Golden Dyke led Loyola, MD, to a 69-68 victory over Army in the regular season finale for both teams. Stiemk scored 17 points and Dyke made the game-winning layup with 2 seconds remaining. Isaiah Caldwell made 2 free throws to give Army a 67-62 lead with 17 seconds to play, but Loyola came back with a 3-pointer from Stiemk and free throws from Tyson Commander to take the lead. Ryan Curry led Army with 20 points. Raisina dialogue, India's lofty ideals make clear it's a quad misfit. South China Morning Post. The author argues that India is a better fit for groupings such as BRICS or I2U2 than for the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad. They suggest that the Quad's values and goals do not align with India's stance on various issues, such as the war in Ukraine and its relationship with Russia. The author concludes that India will continue to straddle different camps and that the Quad is not a good fit for the country. Navy wins 71-65 against American. Associated Press. Navy defeated American with a final score of 71-65 in a Patriot League matchup. Jordan Pennick and Austin Benini led Navy with 16 points each, while Matt Rogers and Elijah Stevens scored 23 points each for American. Navy led 32-30 at halftime and there were 6 lead changes and 7 ties in the second half. As an Arab actor, worrying is part of my life. House of God's Kamal El-Basha on the power of art. ABC. Award-winning Palestinian actor Kamal El-Basha is starring in an Australian television drama called House of Gods. The show centers around the life of Sheikh Mohammed, a devout and traditional father trying to navigate his daughter's dreams of becoming a fashion designer while upholding his reputation as a religious leader. Themes of reconciliation and understanding appealed to El-Basha, and the show has been selected for international screening. Born in Jerusalem, El-Basha grew up in the shadow of conflict and war, and began performing plays for his family and friends as a child. Acting became an outlet for him, allowing him to escape into imagined worlds. El-Basha has won the Venice Film Festival's top acting prize and hopes to use his talent to bridge cultural differences and change perceptions. He believes that filmmakers have a duty to shine a light on issues that are not commonly discussed. El-Basha's own experiences of reconciling his beliefs and upbringing when faced with new cultures and experiences have given him insight into the struggles faced by the new generation. Germany investigates leaked recording of alleged discussion on missile supplies to Ukraine. Yahoo! German military intelligence is investigating an alleged leaked conversation between German officers published by Russian state media. The recording was published by Margarita Simonyan, chief editor of Kremlin-controlled TV channel RT, and is alleged to be a conversation between German military officials about the possible delivery of Taurus long-range missiles and the training of Ukrainian troops. In the recording, the interlocutors allegedly discussed the possibility of Ukraine using Taurus missiles to strike targets such as the Crimean Bridge and mentioned that German Chancellor Olaf Scholz had not approved the transfer yet. Germany's Air Force Chief Ingo Gerhards is allegedly among the participants. Is Israel's killing of civilians putting ceasefire talks at risk? Al Jazeera. The article discusses the ongoing conflict between Israel and Gaza, and the potential impact it may have on ceasefire negotiations. The United Nations has warned of famine and a struggling healthcare system in Gaza, as over 30,000 Palestinians have been killed and tens of thousands injured in the war. Qatar, the United States, and Egypt have been mediating talks for a ceasefire, but the constant bombardment from Israel threatens these discussions. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated that the military offensive will continue until his goals are achieved, further complicating the ceasefire negotiations. Ex-Wisconsin assistant coach Howard Moore gets standing ovation at game after 2019 car wreck. Associated Press. Former Wisconsin player and assistant coach Howard Moore made his first public appearance at the Kohl Center since a car wreck in 2019 that killed his wife and daughter and left him with serious injuries. Wisconsin honored Moore's family before their game against number 13 Illinois, and Moore made a surprise appearance, being wheeled onto midcourt by a former teammate. Moore was joined by former teammates for a photo and was surrounded by Wisconsin's current team. Moore played for Wisconsin from 1993 to 95 and was an assistant coach with the Badgers from 2006 to 10 and 2016 to 19. Shock and a struggle to comprehend after U.S. Airmen's deadly Gaza protest. BBC. Aaron Bushnell, a 25-year-old U.S. Air Force member, set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., on Sunday. He live-streamed the incident, shouting, "Free Palestine," as he burned, and died later in hospital. Bushnell's suicide has prompted vigils in U.S. cities by those campaigning against Israel's military actions in Gaza. Some activists have expressed concern that his extreme act could inspire other deadly acts. Friends of Bushnell have been caught between grieving for him and processing his actions. They have described him as a normal, friendly person who was involved in leftist politics and volunteered with groups helping the homeless. Bushnell's death has prompted discussion among activists who feel a sense of relatability to the futility that drove his action. He described himself as an anarchist and had strong pro-Palestinian views. Bushnell grew up in a religious community called the Community of Jesus but had distanced himself from his family and was no longer involved with the community. He was still in the Air Force at the time of his death. Russia has likely grounded its early warning aircraft fleet from flying Ukraine operations because of unsustainable losses, says UK Intel. Yahoo! Russia has likely grounded its fleet of A-50 early warning and control aircraft after Ukraine shot down a second one in 2 months, the UK Ministry of Defence said in an intelligence update on Saturday. The fleet is likely to remain grounded while internal investigations take place into why the losses happened and how Russia can better combat Ukrainian air defences, the UK department said. The A-50 is an airborne radar system that detects enemy aircraft, missiles, and air defense systems. They also provide daily command and control to Russian air operations and identify ground targets. Before these 2 losses, Russia was believed to have only 8 of the high-value aircraft, which cost hundreds of millions of dollars to build. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your 6th doctor, here to bring you the latest news from the 6 Degrees world. Today, we have a mix of stories ranging from politics to sports, culture to international relations. So, let's dive right in. First up, Kuwait is set to hold parliamentary elections on April 4 after years of political turmoil. It's been a bumpy road for Kuwait, with disputes over domestic issues and a lack of progress in its parliament. But don't worry, despite the challenges, Kuwait remains a staunch U.S. ally, hosting thousands of American troops. In sports news, Loyola, MD, scored a nail-biting victory over Army in their regular season finale. Jordan Stiemk and Golden Dyke led the way, with Stiemk making a game-winning three-pointer and Dyke sinking the winning layup. It was a thrilling match, full of twists and turns. Moving on to international relations, there's a debate about India's place in the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad. Some argue that India's values and goals don't align with the Quad, suggesting it's a better fit for other groupings. It seems India will continue to straddle different camps, keeping us guessing about its alliances. In more sports news, Navy secured a victory against American in a Patriot League matchup. Jordan Pennick and Austin Benini shined for Navy, while Matt Rogers and Elijah Stevens led the charge for American. It was a close game, with several lead changes and ties in the second half. Now, let's talk about the power of art. Award-winning Palestinian actor Kamal El-Basha is starring in an Australian television drama called House of Gods. The show explores themes of reconciliation and understanding, and El-Basha hopes to use his talent to bridge cultural differences and change perceptions. It's inspiring to see artists using their platform to shed light on important issues. In a more serious turn, Germany is investigating a leaked recording that allegedly discusses missile supplies to Ukraine. The conversation, published by Russian state media, allegedly involves German military officials discussing the transfer of long-range missiles and the training of Ukrainian troops. The investigation will shed light on the truth behind these claims. Shifting our focus to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Gaza, there are concerns about how it may impact ceasefire talks. The United Nations has warned of dire conditions in Gaza, and the constant bombardment from Israel threatens the negotiations. It's a delicate situation that requires careful diplomacy. In a heartwarming moment, former Wisconsin coach Howard Moore made his first public appearance since a tragic car wreck in 2019. The Wisconsin community honored Moore's family, and he surprised everyone by wheeling onto midcourt. It's a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. Lastly, we have a shocking and tragic incident in Washington, D.C. A 25-year-old U.S. Air Force member set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy, live-streaming the act and shouting, "Free Palestine." His death has sparked vigils and discussions among activists, who are grappling with the complexities of his actions and the cause he believed in. That wraps up our news for today. Remember, these stories are just a snapshot of what's happening in the 6 Degrees world. There's always more to discover and discuss. So, what are your thoughts? Do you have any questions or opinions on these stories? I'm here to listen and chat. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.